Welcome to the Redvee TV preview show, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2020 season, as we look ahead to Monday evening's game against the Salford Red Devils at Emerald Headingley Stadium. Still no Kev, he's still unwell, so we're still sending him our best wishes. But this week we have a very, very special guest in Stephen Merchant.
Hello, Dave.
Good evening or afternoon, Philip. Philip Leivesley joining us. His dad, Jack, will be proud watching this later on this evening. So he'll get us plenty of shares for this video. You're still deepest, darkest down south in a lower tier restrictions?
Yeah, and loving life here in tier 2, on the border of tier 1, Dave. So we can still go to pubs and things without having a substantial meal.
Your time will come. Your time will come. Hopefully not for you, but yeah, the way the world is going. Your thoughts on this season so far then, Phil? You're obviously watching from afar. Has much changed watching on TV these days?
Welcome to my world, yeah. No, not really. It's, I think, as has been said before, it's just a case of getting through the season, isn't it? And get the money in the bank, and then hopefully 2021 goes as normal. Although, I mean, who knows? Who knows what will happen?
Yeah. Obviously, Catalan having another game called off. If anybody doesn't fancy playing Catalan in the playoffs, or doesn't want Catalan in the playoffs now, their fate is basically now in the hands of opposition sides, isn't it? Only needs one team to have an outbreak of COVID, and that could be Catalan's season finished.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're looking like they're struggling to make those 15 games, aren't they, at the minute? So who knows what might happen there. I mean, if they don't, have the RFL said what might happen? Will it just go to the next place team?
Hopefully we'll finish top, they'll finish 4th, and we'll just get a bite of the final. That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, it may well just keep dropping down, and eventually, if that many teams have outbreaks come playoff time, Toronto might get reinstated and a place in the semi-final of 8 for them. Obviously this week we played on Friday. Leeds essentially threw in the towel beforehand in the squad that they picked. So it was always going to be a case of just how many Saints we're going to win by. Quite convincing in the end for you?
It was. I mean, we definitely took the foot off the pedal at the beginning of the second half. For almost the whole of the second half. Which I was going to be critical about Saints for it, but we've still a bit of rugby to be played and not much time now. Just get the win, get your kind of healthy bodies back in the dressing rooms at the end of the game, and then look forward to the next game, I guess. And that's just how we have to kind of navigate our way through the rest of the season now, I think.
Now, I'll bring the squad up because we're talking about healthy bodies.
Yeah.
So the squad has been announced. And plenty of bodies missing for this one. Obviously, we've got Wigan coming up on Friday. We've got that little bit of a buffer at the top. So Kristian Woolf, he's left out Lachlan Coote, Regan Grace, Johnny Lomax, James Roby, Zeb Tyre, Matty Lees, and Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, all out of the 21, with potentially a few more first-team bodies to be added to that missing on Monday. But that, for me, still looks like a squad that is more than capable of winning this game.
I think so, Dave. I mean, first of all, we expected this. Secondly, yeah, Kev Cunningham said in the after-match show after the Leeds game that our second string would probably finish reasonably high up the Super League table, and that went down to terrible. I think probably could. The only thing that's a bit strange there, I was probably expecting Regan Grace to play, which means that either Kev Nagama will play or Farge will play. You'd think it's where then we fit Wellesby into the team. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing a good couple of them as young lads as well. Tom Nisbet, Jake Wingfield, Matty Foster. If they all get their opportunity, they'll want to show what they can do. Josh Eaves back in as well. He may be on the bench potentially to spell Aaron Smith at hooker for this one. But do you know what? I know Salford are going to go pretty much full strength. They got Dan Sargent back in their side. But they played on Friday evening as well, so they're going to have some battered bodies. Fresh young lads in that side could well give them a little bit of a run around.
Yeah, I mean, Salford squad, they couldn't go with anything other than full strength, really, because they don't have the deepest of squads in the league. They were terrible on Friday as well, and they looked tired. They're going to have to go again on Monday, and I don't think we need to be too worried. I mean, Salford, they were being talked up in the chat because they made the Challenge Cup final. They won 2 games, 2 close games, and it's majority. They only won 5 this year. They're not a great side. They're not. I don't think this might come back to haunt me, Dave, but I don't think they're anything that we should necessarily be too worried about. So I think you look at the representation of what team could have based upon that squad, and you have to consider us favourites, don't you?
Yeah, for me, I think it's maybe it's 50-50 at best against us. But I'm fully expecting us to give them a decent game. Obviously, I think James Graham's going to lead us on Monday. He was left out on Friday, obviously, probably asking him to play 2 games in 72 hours at his age is probably a little bit beyond him. To say at his age, he's probably the same age as us. We were discussing with Kev and Kev Penner and Kev Cunningham. These are our options, what we'd probably go with. Now, I think Makinson will play on the basis that he missed 5 games, didn't he? Obviously with a suspension, so he probably isn't in need of a break. And I'm probably in agreement with Kev Cunningham on that he'll probably play at fullback. And I'm basing that on, you were there last season at the London Broncos away game, where we did play a young side. And we had Jack Wellesby at fullback for that game, didn't we? And he got peppered a little bit. So maybe do you put Tommy Makinson at fullback and Nisbet on the wing to give him that little bit of protection?
It's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, do you slot in players in their natural position, or as we've seen him do you kind of tuck youngsters in where we can fit them?
I think Nisbet can play on the wing as well, and Tommy has had games there in the past. But we've got Costello who could also play on the wing outside of Josh Sitton as well.
Yeah, I think we'll probably go Costello on the wing outside Sim. I think we'll go Nagama. I think personally, we might go Makinson still on the wing and either have Wellesby or Nisbet at fullback. I think if maybe Farge gets a game, then maybe Farge starts with Dodd in the halves.
Yeah, I've left Farge out of my side, but he could well slot in on the bench maybe as covered in the halves or cover at 9 as well. It's interesting. You can see there's so many different scenarios, not only a brief selection of them there. I think we're all probably in agreement that we should maybe give James Bentley a little bit of a rest. Obviously, I think he's played every game since lockdown and he's been phenomenal for us. But yeah, all 3 of them sides and on what you've discussed, all well capable of winning this game.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not really too concerned. I mean, and we've got the percentages in our favour, isn't it? If we drop points, I think we have to fancy ourselves against Wigan on Friday. So you could almost argue it's a free hit, couldn't you?
Yeah, I was looking at it. If we do win this game, I think we're guaranteed top 4. And I think if we beat Wigan, I think we're either guaranteed top 2 or potentially top spot, barring some sort of miracle against us. And then we can potentially look to resting bodies towards playoff time and having a little bit more rotation as we build up to a semi-final towards the end of November.
This is the thing, just get as healthy a squad as you can through to the actual games that mean something. It doesn't really matter, I think, where we finish in the 4. You've got to be confident on a day with how long a squad as we can put out. We'll beat anyone. I think the rest of the league this season, I mean, it's I don't believe in hoodoos, so I'm pretty confident in saying this. It's ours to lose, isn't it? I don't think anybody else squad on paper is near as good at the first 18 innings as ours this year.
Now, Phil, before we go, I'm coming through on the computer. What's that like thing creating a shadow? Is that the sun?
Yeah, it's beautiful down here. Nice bit of autumnal sunshine.
You don't get that. You
And
don't
it's
get that.
coming
In,
up
you
north.
don't get that. In, you don't get that in Taylor Free.
Hey, you're talking about the London game from last season. As you will know, I don't really remember much of that game because I was enjoying the hospitality a little bit too much.
Lastly, before I go, I will say I was glad to see the club do a video with St Helens and Knowsley NHS Trust yesterday, promoting, obviously following the guidelines, and hopefully we can get back to some normality as we get close to Christmas. But yeah, I know we can try and put on a brave face and smile about it, but that's all you can do at the minute. Follow the rules and let's try and get through this as best we can.
Yeah, and it was a really well done video. I think the tone was right. I think there are certain people who might respect somebody like Kristian Woolf giving a message. I don't think anyone really cares for our current government at the moment. So let's get people that actually have respect of the everyday folk giving the message, and maybe that'll translate through. I don't know, but
yeah,
I mean, you'd like the adherence has been pretty good to it, but I don't know what it's like up there.
When you go out and about, most people do seem to be following the rules. It's hopefully to get through to those people who aren't, and people need to realise until we get that R rate down and we free up the spaces in the hospitals, life's going to be like this, and we're going to be under these restrictions, and we won't be able to go and enjoy the things that we love, such as obviously watching Saints. And I think we're now looking towards next season, aren't we? But we need to get it right. Right, Phil, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem.
Enjoy life in the land of little restriction. And we'll hopefully catch up with you again before the end of the season.
Absolutely. See you soon.
Thanks a lot. Okay, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow evening for an instant fan reaction after the Salford game. Thanks for watching.